Hello there, you're watching QTV Youth Dialogue and I am your host, Jenna Vasonko. Special thanks goes to UNICEF. We can remember, if you've been following us on social media, you would remember that we celebrated Day of the Girl Child right here in the studio, and that was facilitated by UNICEF. And Day of the Girl Child is set aside to actually recognize the plight of the girl child. And today I'm here with an individual who has actually been advocating for the rights of the girl for the longest time, but not wearing that hat today in the studio, but as the founder and of Poetry Slam.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay. I'm so proud to be here with you, of course.
Yes, so this is your first time coming on Youth Dialogue. It's actually not structured, it's not strict in any way, it's just a dialogue that we normally have. We chit-chat, have fun, you know, nothing strict and structured. Feel at home, you know, feel free. So like I mentioned, today you're not here in that capacity, but I think as we were celebrating International Day of the Girl, it's also good to recognize some of the efforts that you've put in place at that point in time. And also, she's part of the 60 most influential African women in the media 2021. Congratulations, girl.
You didn't tell me all of that. Thank you so much. I'm so much honored. I think we've come a long way.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you mentioned, the Day of the African Child is something that or the girl child rather.
Yeah.
It's something that we've been commemorating during my days at the Young People in the Media because of our work in advocacy in child's right. Abdul, may his soul rest in peace, was so passionate about this day. And because young girls play a very crucial role in our development, because these are the people who grow up to be the likes of yourself and I. And so it's important that we're able to give them the conducive environment to excel, to grow their self-esteem, but also to expose them to opportunities. It is because of those that exposure, which is why some of us are able to articulate ourselves and be able to sit at platforms at this very young age still. We might look like very big people, but we are actually very, very young. That's because the exposure was there and the platform was given to us. So if we're able to create that kind of a platform for young people, we are sure that our future will be great. Because when we educate girls, we're educating nations.
Like I always say, it's a circle. You know, this is a circle. We were given the opportunity. I wasn't even given the opportunity to that extent, but still, I need to also give back, and you're also giving back in your own way. So in relation to giving back, she's the founder of Poetry Slam. And if you've been following this particular initiative, you would realize that a lot of great poets, the likes of Lala Toure, the likes of Champion Cham, participated in this particular poetry competition. And right now, they're making waves in the country. Look at Champion Cham as the Speaker of the National Youth Parliament. Look at Lala Toure with NDI, and other great young people in the country participated at the Poetry Slam competition since the beginning. So I mean, it's been a great initiative. So first of all, let's talk about the grassroots, you know, where this particular initiative started. You know, how did the motivation come about? Because poetry at the time was not really a lot of people focused on.
Yeah, that's quite right. Because when I was at the Young People in the Media, we were not only trained, we were not only given the platform to go on radio and speak, but it was so important for the organization to, you know, acknowledge our talents and help us nurture those talents. So the first thing we were asked as members was that, what is your talent? And I remember at some point I said reading. For some reason, I never even knew that reading would become a thing because it's what I'm doing at work. But I said reading. And so Khadija Tufofana, I remember, was the president at the time. And I remember she asked me that, okay, beyond reading, is there something that could come out of that reading? I said, I'll think about it. So before I knew anything, I started writing. So eventually, when we had events, when we had programs, you know, Abdul will ask me to write a piece according to the theme, and we would recite. So I and Tima, my best friend, we started doing poetry at that level. I remember we attended inter-school poetry competition, and then you know, she came first, I came second. It was very heated and very interesting. And I saw that, you know, we had great poets from across the country. You know, poets from the international schools, private, public, everyone was there. And then I saw the quality of poetry, but we did not have a platform. I, for one, stopped writing when I graduated from high school because there was no point anymore. I wasn't called to perform anywhere. I didn't have a platform. I didn't feel that this was something worth it.
So is that the reason why, we'll come back to the process, so is that the reason why you don't write or perform anymore? The fact that at some point you know, I talked about Lala and I talked about Champion Cham.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of them.
I remember certain point in time, these people get to be paid and called on events to actually perform. And at that time, this did not exist. So is that the reason why you did not continue with it?
I mean, with the issue of the writing, actually, I felt demotivated at some point.
Okay.
Because obviously there was no platform. So there was no platform, there was no point to write any longer. And so for me, it was kind of, you know what, let's go with something that's working.
Yeah.
I still do write in my own corner, because as poets, this is something that is in there. You have an eye for something, your mind, the way you are thinking when you're in a certain state, you are not even there anymore. You're thinking of lines. So sometimes it comes and I write them in my notes.
Okay.
You know, just pouring my heart out. When I'm in my own solitude, I recite in my head, but I don't perform.
Okay.
If I want to, I will, but I don't think I can memorize any longer. But these people, you know, the Slam Kim, I'm so proud of them. Lala, Omar, you know, they really utilize the platform. So when I came to GRTS as an intern, I was tasked to come up with a program. And when I was told that, I thought to myself that it'd be great to come up with something that resonates with what I believe in. And at that point, the only thing that I could think of was poetry. And because during, at the time, in Young People in the Media, we had the likes of Khadija Fofana, who were coming from the United States, and they were doing slams all over.
Wow.
And she told me, you are not doing slams here. What's happening? I said, but we don't have the platform.
Yeah.
So I wanted at that point, Abdul was trying for, you know, for me to try and come up with something. And so when I got the opportunity at GRTS, I thought this is the perfect moment to do it. And when I told the DG at the time, Mamadou Sabali, he was quick to just give us the platform, because he's a poet, he's a writer.
Yeah, he knows what
so
it
he
means.
knows that this is something. So it's something that's difficult to walk on if you do not have a support system that believe in that. The reason why we're still here after 5 years is because we have a group of people who are poets and who believe in the cause. Eventually, those who don't believe in it will go. But those who know that it is important for their fellow poets to be given a platform will hold on tight. And that's why
I
we're here.
totally agree with that, you know, because consistency is a problem in the Gambia. I always talk about this. As young people, we like to start things, and at the end of the day, it is not sustainable. We get to stop, and a lot of duplication of efforts everywhere. So I'm happy about the fact that at least you're able to partner with your fellow poets instead of them also. I'm not saying they shouldn't start their own thing, but at least the similarity shouldn't be there.
Their own
they
thing.
are, but at least the duplication of effort sometimes, it's the waste of resources. For me, it's too much. I don't know.
I think the Poetry Slam is the National Poetry Slam. It is registered as so. And so I think this is something that the poets understand, that the only slam can be from the National Poetry Slam. You know, they're having their events, you know, they organize the cafes, which I'm so proud of, because these are all indicators of progress. And I make sure that those notes are taken. But when it comes to a slam, I mean, we are doing that. And I do not, like you mentioned, another person doing that would basically be a duplication.
But I saw the National Center for Arts and Culture doing the same thing. So I just want to understand your relationship with the National Center for Arts and Culture in terms of partnership, because I think last year they were part of the partners, which is a good thing with Hasum Cisse. So what is your relationship with them as we speak?
I don't think what they're holding is a National Poetry Slam. I think sometimes they just have projects that they want to work with poets on. We have a very cordial relationship with them. In fact, we communicate with Hasum and Sheikh Omar on a weekly basis. You know, I still have my email pending in their box though. But yes, I mean, they're very supportive in just giving us the technical, you know, experience and just helping us with resources where they can. I mean, we're still waiting to hear from them this time around, but we have a very fruitful relationship. And even as this season, they're crucial partners in the slam.
Already?
So yes, they are aware of a National Poetry Slam, and they know that the slam is conducting that.
Okay, I'm happy that the National Center for Arts and Culture is partnering.
We make sure they're always involved.
They're always involved, even if they're not putting in some money.
I mean, for us, the partnership is more important. The fact that they're willing to give us an ear, that is very crucial for us. And the last season, they actually contributed something. And Hasum also promised that this time around, they're very much hopeful to bring something forth for our winner, because our winner is going home with $50,000.
Good prize.
And in the Gambia, that is not a small money. In fact, to get people put in $50,000 is quite a big deal.
We know how hard it is to organize events in the country.
You know.
So take us through some of the challenges.
I think that is one of it, partnerships. Because, you know, poetry as it is not something that a lot of people are vested in.
Sure.
And I remember saying the last season that, you know, this is art, and art is expensive. And not everybody can afford, can afford that. It is prestigious, and not everybody can afford prestige. You just have to, you need to have a certain mindset and, you know, a certain belief to be able to sit and listen to a poet recite a piece, a thought on a theme that you find so interesting and intriguing for your appetite. And I think for many people, once they are unable to get that, they're not getting the hype and the buzz, they feel like, you know, this is not worth it.
It's not worth it.
But you see with spoken word poetry, there's so much art history in it, and there's so much beauty in it. And those who love poetry, lovers of art, they know this, they know the quality in writing a piece.
You know, while you're talking, something just came to my mind. This is just taking me to the Gambian music industry, where it used to be a few years ago, we never expected that Jizzle or ST will fill the stadium. So for some reason, I am seeing poetry taking that route for some reason. So eventually I see poetry reaching that stage whereby people can pay their own money. Like in other countries, people pay a lot of money to go and watch ballet dancers, for example.
I mean, even in some countries, you pay to watch a poetry event.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And it's not less than $10, basically. You pay to watch. Even if it's online, you pay to watch.
Sure.
Because those people know for an artist to come and use, you know, his or her knowledge like that, it is expensive. It is. And you will realize that the likes of Latil were basically here doing the word of mouth. I was very young back then, and I was not really very much involved in that. But this is different from a competition. And you realize that it's the only event that is staged in the form of a production, what Latil does, and which people pay to go and see. But where it starts is very important as well, so that, you know, we can just get more attention to it. And now I'm just proud to say that the Slam has given a lot of young people hope that they can utilize their writing skills into something very meaningful. We get calls from all over the country, you know, from all the way from Farafenye, Basse, young people telling us, what about us? You know, we need to be included as well. And this time around, I'm very happy to say that we were able to do that. We were able to decentralize the forms. We made them available online. And we had registrations or applications all the way from Basse, cutting across. And I remember at the semi-finals, we had one of them who is from LRR, who was able to make it all the way through the semi-finals. And I remember Latil saying that if I hadn't said that he was from LRR, he wouldn't have noticed. So they're doing extremely well.
I'm happy about the fact that your team did not put in a deliberate policy just to push them forward.
No, we want to make sure.
I'm happy about that.
We want to make sure they rip the prize.
Yes.
And for me, I tell the poets, even as yesterday we had the meeting, that for me and the team, the quality is very important for us. I do not, I mean, yes, people have, we have disabilities, and there's some we really need to, you know, help to nurture. But it is a competition, and we don't have the final say at the level of
It's just like when we debate when it comes to the quota system, when it comes to competences, and just the fact that deliberate policies should be put in place to push women. It's a still ongoing debate. I don't want to get there. I know if Honorable Cisse and Lala Toure are watching, they will come for me. So I will just let that go. But I mean, I think it is very important that you focus on competence rather than just pushing them forward to get them gain the prestige and all of the noise. You talked about black magic. Black magic is a thing now. You know, it's a thing now. I remember when it was just starting, I didn't know. My mom used to say, oh, black magic. I was like, what was that? But eventually you could see how it has developed to become what it is today. So yes, when is the finals?
Yes, the final slated for the 23rd. That's the Saturday coming at the Alliance Franco. And we just want everyone to come, because at the level of our organizing team, we're doing all we can to put up a show. And this is one thing that I tell the poets: when you are here on this platform, it is not about you alone. The moment you make it about you, I don't think we'd be interested in working with you. We want to work with people who are very passionate about the Slam, people who want to encourage other young people, people who want to own the platform. I mean, in every competition you are applying to, or even in scholarships, they want to make sure that you can be a good ambassador of that, for that scholarship, that you can encourage other people and contribute immensely to that alumni. So we don't want you to come because you just want to win. We want them to bring on their A game. We want them to show that poetry can be taken to another level, and young people can have a platform that they can rely on and be hopeful that would help them reach the that stage they want to, because after the slam, our winner is participating at the Africa Cup of Slam Championship.
Amazing. That's
so
what I
we don't just
see.
want to put up any person. For me, that is important. If it's not quality, I am not working with you. And the poets, they know this. So right now,
and
we're
looking
doing
at the
all
panel
we
of
can.
judges, it is looking good. You know, these are very independent, respected individuals there. Thank you so much, Fatu Ilika Maloshi, for joining us. So I'll be joined by one of the finalists.
And just before we go, Jay, I just want to say that Latir Carr, he is the executive director of Blamaji, has been very helpful. He's been very consistent throughout the slam. The judges, Ndekumba, also, she's a writer and she was a journalist before. Ba Ibrahim was a rapper at some point.
So
it's
he
a
can
mixture.
blend.
It's a mixture of everything, performance, writing, and knowledge. So be rest assured that all we're giving you is quality. This
morning, inshallah,
hoping to
on
see
the 23rd, hoping to see me. Oh, she's threatening me.
I am threatening her on live. She needs to come.
Yes, but inshallah, you know, we will surely be there to support you. I think this is a very, very brilliant initiative, and I love the consistency of this particular initiative. 5 years.
Thank you.
Young people always come here, activists, I tell them, as young people, you know, that is not the precedence that we are supposed to set. So thank you so much for coming. We'll be joined by a finalist here, and she'll be talking about her experience. And I know it's a good one. You know, I've been following on social media, their posts and all of that. I can sense the excitement. So we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we will head right on to that. Do stay tuned.
As I speak, my words depict the pain that makes my world a stranger to me, wishing for the life I could have but never had. So I whispered to myself, praying for the world to crumble and end my pain, because this load is too heavy for my strength. In the trend of me growing up, I swim in misery, thinking of the outside world in this prison of sex world. With nothing making sense, I find myself in a hole full of nightmares. Wait, how did we get this far? I don't know, but I was but just a child, so who killed me before I could grow up? I was just 9, less than 10, when you took me from my mom's home, telling her that no need to worry, my life is in safe hands. You are my mom's friend, so she trusted you. I paid the price of her trust, became a victim of your evil deeds, lost the taste of freedom when you took me to a country different from mine, created an identity or no identity for me. You waited for the sun to sleep before you could turn me into a sex machine. Now, days went by when you finally made me into a modern slave. Now this time, the sun, asleep or awake, it never mattered. Just for wealth, you sold my pride, disregard humanity, exploit me unjustly. With every night, I tremble with fear, soaked in tears, forced to comply and accept as I watch them force themselves into me, with every man taking his turn. Now I am in the same boat with my future, yet I can save nor change it. So if this is what life offers a poor child like me, tell me, would I be wrong to pray for the world to crumble and end my pain? Thank you.
This poem is titled, We Shall See. Small brains can appear pensive, but big villains, believe me, good people, they can confidently deceive. Faithful friends with big ears, hearing little, in a land of confusion where expectations dwindle. Series of unfortunate events approaching, with so many obstacles in a gloomy journey not simple, but where the prominence of struggle is rekindled. Father is often working, mother praying for a future that will be worth it, a future of meaningful acquired dreams not aborted, a universe of optimism where the chronicles of peace isn't forgotten. So please let me breathe, let me believe, let me achieve and not be aggressive. Instead, Let me set goals higher than the sky. Envision a palatable future followed by the shade of destiny which none can defy. For it is an illusion to believe you cannot make mistakes, yet most times I call a spade, sometimes I lie. Most times I am confident, sometimes I am shy. Is that truly the reality of nature? Or nature is just pride? Are you a philanthropist? Are you just here to crucify? So please let me breathe. Let me believe. Let me achieve and not be aggressive. Hey, let the poets reason. Cook to can words in the kitchen of our minds, so our hearts feel the depth of literature, lingering in every chamber of our hearts, where through eyes clearly shown, whisper, witty wise, well-cooked lyrics to your ears, to purify your hearts by these great works of art. Create a universe of souls extremely smart. Mingle, twinkle, sparkle together, understand one another to a level that even if we were to perish, our souls will still meet and communicate. We'll recite poetry, still contemplate. We'll make it our therapy, minds we emancipate. We'll make it a profession, so Tony, hearts we ventilate. So please let me breathe. Let me believe. Let me achieve and not be aggressive. Kon waxal waaji man ma ne mu dëgër fit ni sama papa ne ko aduna bi ku fi bëgg a dem sa kanam na nga am xol bu set sell. Jamono ji beew réew bu ñu moytuwul dinañu yóbbu si musiba ndax gën di mbindeef yi sax oyofuñu woon torop waaye tamit diisuñu woon torop si digg bi rek leen nekkoon. Kon sëñ bi sama xarit bi waa ji wata doyi doyi ndax maam nee na kuy dem ba jàpp golo si ñaay foog nga doon nandite.
My poem is titled Be a Man. Be a man. There is always that one thing you can't get off your mind. The people, the fight, the society that constantly keeps terrorizing the peace you pray to find. Be a man, they say. Be strong. You are the cream of this nation, our pride. Words they keep repeating to earn your trust, set you a trap to make you disappear in the wind. Not only insects seek to suck your blood, have you dead to the cemetery they parade. After turning you into something you are not, they watch you fall just to turn an eye blind. I told you so. The next time you fall, my words will give you a hand from the ground. But tell them, the downfall of a man is not the end of his life. It's the beginning. So call yourself the best and the lowest man in the clan of the worst will reduce you to nothing. When you face your enemy, the best place to be is in your soul, and you shall defeat anything. A man's greatest enemy is doubting himself, and he shall be beaten by everything. His fears, his temptations, his beliefs, he shall be left with none. His destiny shall perish, and grant him a pitiful ending. So be a man and keep struggling. Don't let your tears drown you. Keep trying. Don't let your thoughts chain down your strength. People are watching. Rise every moment a hero who never surrenders without fighting. If you think you are the worst, wait till you meet your neighbor next door, who every day pretends in clean clothes, fall asleep hungry lying on the floor, thoughts of success lingering on his mind, praying he gets richer than the poor. So be a man while you sleep and snore, even when life is stubborn. Pray for life, because you never know what's in store. You don't really need money to make you complete. You don't also need friends to make you complete. In fact, relationships that are not fulfilling would only see your value deplete, but you can make it only when you contemplate. So be a man and take charge of your responsibilities. The young suckers are looking up to you and your activities to be strong and wise, to conquer their fears and inabilities, so that whenever they look around, they feel the world with them at all times. You are the one for a reason, not to lead a life filled with lies. The family wants to see you work hard and strengthen ties with your kin. Hovering over your body, is hard to not live from hand to mouth like a destitute, but things will change, because nothing remains as it is forever. So be a man of your word and say to hardship never. This is the breaking point of a man. Jahalo, where you think until your brain begins to boil as if it's in the kalero. So you begin to pray and hope you live long in Suturo. A life is lived well when it's sweet like Sukuro. A poor life is wicked like Masibo, but you would make it, even if you'll put a fish on a plate for Wafiro. See me rocking on the hills, because I'm not part of the Nyokelo. So stay blessed. And when you see me, call me Kanyeleng Manso. Thank you.
The title of my piece is When I Die. Saya Iko saya tabayla andung atajotula. Saya mangkaku foloti andung atakalaku labangoti. Saya mu nyong community menka alala jol sendi suo kono. Saya mu niola fanka solati. Saya mu firingolati woto ning fata alkana kumbo aljioming ali sabari. When I die, when my coffin is closed and the divine secret is disclosed, do not tint my coffin with your tears. It is the ship that will sail me home. When I die, and all you see is my corpse, do not look at me and mourn. I am sleeping, and in my sweetest dream, where paradise walks towards me. Concerning my sins, let them not bother you. No matter what the devil smokes, God is the Most High. He will take care of that. When I am gone, laugh and rejoice, for a new joy has come. Do not descend me into my grave sobbing. It is my new home. Paradise is cutting. I shall wake up listening to God's lullabies. When I die, do not cry for my departure. I won't be lost and found in a monster's cage. No, I have a guide. Like the night, I shall creep into time. Don't feel sorry or think I am missing. I am feasting on eternal love and bliss. Life begins when the grave consumes you, between the joints of earth and paradise, where my soul hangs onto reality. When I die, do not read this poem and shed tears, or fall back on this day when the gospel of death hallucinates on my tongue. This poem is written by a complex palm, now spilled and returning home, and these words are being spoken by a mortal being, now part of the nitrogen cycle, while heaven refines my soul. To my fans, I love you. I love you so much. When I die, do not visit my Facebook page and send me letters with your tears. Your love, I will receive them, but your tears, I won't receive them. I am being loved up there. I am with my keeper. I am liberated when I die. Thank you.
The poem I'm about to recite is entitled Thieves. Growing up, you know, like everybody say, was like holding on to a burning coal, but I didn't care. Because fire burned, but not fire. I fought with boys, they flocked me up. I cried and licked them to dry. And yes, at least that was juice for me, I like that. Now, this age, this size, is tired to the 1,000 words that amount to no sense. Walking in a house where leaders rule and not lead, where the preachers are the breakers, the same saints, the sinners, the mourners, the liars, government officials, you know what? Thieves. To the crafted begging mouths, we know you have munched the monies for the roads because we have roads. The traffic, I mean the desert, is the trumpet that transmits the lies you paste to your round table. Let's protrude our bellies and have a drink. Hear me. Your kids are not trekking the desert and pay 10 times 5 fares to get to school. The pigsties, I mean the hospitals, are not wrecking to kill your moms giving a life. The classes, I mean the toilet rooms, are not suffocating your asthmatic cousin patients. Thieves, your dumb kids enjoy the scholarships. What else do you want to hear? Those offices tuned to your bloodline. Make us understand the songs that we dance to. Are you not pissed enough? Well, I am, and even more, because these judges are not going to listen to me the whole day. So lock yourselves up, because thieves in my country wear suits and sit in offices. Like many voices, my throat has gone dry. We cry just to help the birds visit the sky, but not to make you stop using our names and cave them into pots to slot in monies. All that glitters is not gold, yes, but gold glitters too. So can you not say, managing the national treasury is not easy like that day? Are you serious? I swear that was our expensive mistake. I swear that was our expensive mistake. Streets paved like jungle villages. The thought of walking in a junction end up in a house. You know what? Your degrees, I mean your papers, are for the cupboards, and they make a delicious dish for the cockroaches. You don't paste them on your forehead. Walk or we walk you out. You say her name, but it's not signed in your hearts. And if there's anything like hypocrites, you made me understand. And you're just one of them if you have to tell the apprentice in the car that don't mind just $2. That's not the point. You should know better, because you didn't take dinner. Granny say that the goat that destroys the drum pays with his own skin, and you have the meat, but nothing happened. Do something with the TRRC recommendation, or we recommend you to mount. Oh wait, that's going to be so easy. In fact, pamper your bellies. Come back, join the conversation, and act like stupid intellects. And kids like me will pick up your scruples one after the other. You want to take me to jail? I've already packed my bag, but you wait until I'm done here. You ask me to scream, where I should yell and write the speech I should speak. You guys die and get to hell, I pray. The drainages refuse to be constructed, pay dues to the babies that die in the flow. So ping pong defines the rule of the game. You either be a king or a slave, a pre or a predator, a liar or a spy, and a liar is a spy. So call me a liar or a spy because I spy what you do and exactly what you do. I am walking out of this house, but before I do, let me ring this bell again. That your votes are your voices, and your voices are your consent.
Hello there, you are still watching QTV Youth Dialogue, and I am your host, Jennifer Sonko. That was Fata Ili Kamiloshi, the founder of Poetry Slam Gambia. Like I mentioned before we went for the break, I'll be joined by Ami Sohna as well, a participant, you know. It is important to also know how exciting the journey has been and just how beneficial as well the few stages that she's passed has been as well. It doesn't mean she's winning, but maybe she might win. Who never knows? Who knows, you know. So thank you for joining us, Ami.
Thank you very much. I am delighted being here.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ami Sohna, one of the finalists of the Poetry Slam.
Okay, and good luck.
Thank you very
So
much.
I don't want to be biased because the other finalists are not here. So I'm just going to talk about the competition in particular. But anyway, it's not voting. So it's determined by judges. So it is okay that she's here on behalf of the other finalists. So how has the journey been so far?
From the start, it has been really, really tough. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Especially from the audition. The audition day, I really think that I was going to be eliminated.
Ooh, wow.
Because I felt that I did really bad. But, you know, I passed the stage and I was, you know, I was happy. But henceforth, it has been really, really hard, especially the semi-finals.
It was tough, right?
It was
You thought
really,
you
really
wouldn't
tough.
make it to the
Yes,
next
I
stage.
thought I was not going to make it to the stage, but alhamdulillah, finally to the final. So, urging everybody to come see the finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes it tough? You know, is it because people have a lot of confidence, or is it because the writing skills are top notch? You know, the performances. Where does it lie?
All together, which you have mentioned, we have poets that are really, really matured. I think that is that has made it really tough for us this year. Yes. So from the quarterfinals going to the semi-finals, we have poets that are mature. They write maturely. So that's what even made it tougher for us to cross this path. Yeah. So that's it basically.
So all of them are like the whole package. Everyone has good performance, good voice, and all of that.
Yes, and then we do have people that were in the 3-0 edition. And they are in the 4th.
They are back?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, you know, they have experience, they understand
and
the issue
they
more.
understand everything.
Yes. So that's what even made it, make it so really, really difficult for us. That This is our first time. For me, that is my first time.
But hey, I'm proud of you. You know, this is your first time and you're able to be part of the finalists. You're good to go. So let's talk about grassroots. How did you realize that poetry is your thing?
Okay, I'm really delighted to talk about this because it was in my 7th grade that I started writing poems. I can remember the first line that I wrote was, "I wish the bats can hear my cries." So I started crying. I was in my industrial arts department. Then from there, like that, I kept writing, performing poetry in our school, Charles Joe, Nusrat. Yeah. So finally, the last year, I was thrilled by what I have seen in the in the finals. I decided to come for it.
Slam,
yes,
and
Poetry
eventually.
Slam. Yeah.
This was supposed to come last before you leave to do a performance, a little performance for it. But I'm afraid we might have to allow you to do it now because of the line you just gave me. Can you say that again?
I wish the birds can hear my cries.
Okay, add something else to that.
Okay. There was a piece that I decided on the semi-finals, and I think the people do like it.
Yeah.
And that piece is entitled, "I Am Waiting for You." And here it goes.
Okay.
I am waiting for you. Let pain make you bleed, I mean bleed. Let your heart be broken into uncountable missing pieces, because I would pick each. Fix the puzzle, fail again. Fix the puzzle, fail again. Well, I'm not all that patient, you know. So I need you in your dead-made tissue so we could build the own blocks of our lives, because when I read, you write. But when you write, I read me. Are you stumbling on the blocks that drank my tears like the 14-decade barren land doors? In the darkest hours of the night, does your tears take you to bed? Are you pegging at trees to see this clouded, quiet, loud missing piece? I am waiting for you. I'm not going to tell you I'm a poet, but you better be one. So finally, when you grip hold and crack open this hard-tender tissue, do know that this is a pebble of perfection and a cliff of imperfection, a little bit of both. I'm not going to tell you that you are my world, because the world has us both. It belongs to God, not you. Not anything, I will die for you, because death was created before life, not created for you.
Okay, Ami,
or something
we're just going to stop there. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I want people to go and see the finals on the 23rd of October at
Definitely.
Allianz Franco. That's what I want. That was really good, you know, breathtaking.
Thank you.
I mean, in as much as, you know, we come here, we talk about the individuals, in a way, this program also serves as a mentorship program to young people out there who watch, you know. So I want you to give tips to young people out there in terms of writing. What does it take to be a good writer? I know when we were little, we used to say, are leaders born or made? So are writers born or made? You know, let me go back to the old days.
Yes, yes, good question. I usually say this, that the art of writing, the art of public speaking, it's not a destination, it's a journey. Okay. So as we go on, you get better. As you go on, you get to understand what is your stance when it comes to public speaking, when it comes to writing, when it comes to poetry specifically. Poetry is another type of writing that is actually sophisticated, different from people that write novel and essays and the like. So I wouldn't say people are born with it. If I said that, I'll be really, really biased. Yeah. It's something that you can learn to. But what I'm telling to the people, especially us as youths, is to ready to learn, to ready to listen. You could be good, but you need to be directed. You need to be explained to what are you doing. So basically, it's just saying, have mentors, you know, listen to people, be ready to learn all the time. Don't feel you know really too much that you don't want to listen to people. Because if you do, you will just say, you know, the basic forms, and people are not ready for that. So if you really want to be a good poet, learn to listen. Learn to listen and learn to read. Go to people that really can do
So
these
which
things.
means it's both ways. You have to have the talent, and the technical aspect as well has to be there for you to be guided to actually get there. So how do you feel as a woman with a voice? How does that make you feel? The fact that you're a woman and you have a strong voice and people get to listen to it. Even if they don't want to hear it, but they're forced to listen to it. How does that feel?
Okay, I will answer that question in particular, but let me talk about that, in fact, yes. Because most of the times, I will get people ask me, are you a feminist? You know, you usually talk about things that has to do with guys, this and that, all the time, throughout, even the performances that I have been doing. These things will just come coincidentally, but I also want to explain to people, sometimes people are the product of their societies. Product of your own environment. You don't even know these things, how they come up. Like growing up, I don't have issues about heartbreaks. I don't have issues about being maltreated.
Lucky you, heartbreaks. Lucky you, then.
You know, but I have grown and see people that have gone through those situations, and people that are really, really close to me. This, in one way or the other, has affected me. You know, this has molded me in a way that to stand up for myself, to speak up. Because all it takes, I have one of my lines in my poem that said that, you know, I asked God to turn these bullies into my voice, so that when I speak, people can hear what I'm talking about. So it hardens me when I see young ladies that are being abused, they are being maltreated, and they're not able to say it out. Like I always say it out, say whatever it is in your mind. Say the things that you're going through. If you say them, you ventilate to your grief. If you do that, it helps you. So all of you out there, if you're a woman and you're going through a lot, you need to be saying it out. I'm not saying you need to go everywhere and say it, but identify people that you know. If you talk to them, they will help you, and you speak out. This voice, the importance of it is to speak up.
Yes, we need to.
Basically.
So you seem so
as a woman, that's the greatest part of it. That if things are done to me, which I don't like, I talk about it immediately. Yes, if I have things that I need to preach to people, I say it out. Because right now, at my disposal, I have my voice only to sell out information that is in me.
So what does it mean, winning Poetry Slam Gambia?
I don't even want to talk about that.
Well, you need to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that. It is, you know, the money is important. It's one part of it. It's really important for me. But the second most important part for me is before you win, you must put up something.
Yeah.
And if you put up something before people give you the award, it has to be substantial.
Yeah.
It has to be something that has sent a message to the people.
Yes.
So the effect of my message, how is it, the effect of the message, how is it going to impact on the people? That is one thing that I'm happy about. So if I win, it means people have gotten that. It have affected their lives. That is one thing that I'm happy about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as an individual, as a poet, the fact that you have to stand in front of a lot of people to deliver, you have to act. How do you suppress your nervousness? How do you work on that, you know?
Nervousness. Like I usually say,
A lot of young people ask me this question, you know, oh, I know I'm good, but I can't express myself because I'm so nervous. So give us tips. How do you work on yours?
you know, when I was in Nusrat, before coming to Nusrat, I was the head girl of Charles Joe too.
Yeah.
And then, like Nusrat too, 2020, batch 2020. So people will always ask this question all the time. I tell them nobody will walk up a stage and say that I don't have nerves. You have nerves, but it's about, people will tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that. All of those things is about what they have experimented on themselves, what has suited them themselves. So it is now your responsibility as an individual to examine yourself. What is for me? People will learn to control their nerves when they touch their hands or when people clap. Some other people will just need to stand within 5 minutes and it's gone. So it's about you concentrating on yourself.
To know,
Hence,
to figure out
what helps you to suppress your nerves.
Yeah.
So if you are there, you have the passion, fine, you have the talent. So what is needed is yourself.
Yes.
Study yourself and then do it, just do it. All of the things that people tell you out there, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
I've had people say, this is what I do, this is what I, but that is for them.
It's not applicable.
Yes, that is
but
for them.
But it's always good to also just try other things just to see if it will
just
work.
to see. So it's about, it's terrible. Anytime that I want to stage up to, in a public speaking, it feels like the first very day I was staging up. So you have to feel that the nerves will always gonna come.
And
but it's about controlling
it's not everyone that is born confident.
Yes,
we also have
definitely.
to make that clear.
Yeah.
I can remember the first time that I was on stage, that was in primary school. I messed up.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I messed up in my 10th grade.
You messed up? Okay,
I
tell us
messed up
about
in-
that. Tell us about that.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I climbed the stage. I wanted to recite a poem. I remember my economics teacher was there, and then in the middle of it, everything just messed up because it wasn't I forgot my lines. It was because I couldn't control it.
Okay.
Because people were many, so I couldn't control my nerves. I messed up, and then oh my God, the whole day it messed up with my
Okay,
self-esteem.
but the audience realized you messed up.
Yes, they realized I messed up, and then they clapped for me. I get off the stage, and you know the whole day it touched me. But along the way, you amen it. If you amen it and come, people forget about that memory
People
as
forget
they go.
about
But
that.
you wouldn't forget because
Yeah.
it is something that you have used to correct what you have done.
Yeah, but for me, it was while I was pretty little.
Yeah.
So mine was not as bad as hers, but still, it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
It's okay sometimes to have these hiccups here and there, and at the end of the day, you use that as an opportunity to like build on yourself. So putting Poetry Slam aside, what else do you do, Ami? What else do you do to impact your community? As it is said, whatever you do as an individual, what way is it impacting your community or changing the narrative? So what are you doing?
I'll be happy to say that. One is I'm a law student at the University of the Gambia.
Yeah.
First year, second semester student. And second, I am an entrepreneur. I have a brand for Yoff called Your Organic Food,
Okay.
where I sell pepper sauce, chakri.
When is mine coming? Oh, okay.
Anytime you know.
How can you come to Youth Dialogue without bringing a basket, you guys?
I know. And then chakri, I make coconut oil. I also make,
Amazing.
yes, I also make handmade mayonnaise if you need it. That I cannot make and make it stay because I
Okay,
don't have.
so it's
I can't
based on
preserve it.
others.
Yes,
Okay.
on others. If you order it, I make it for you.
That's very
Yeah,
good.
that's what
So
I
which
do.
means Ami here is the whole package, you know. She's the entrepreneur, she's the law student, and also she's a
Poet.
poet. So the poet and law, is there a relationship? Because poetry in a way is some form of advocacy, and we know law as well. You can't actually separate advocacy from it. So is there a relationship between the two for you?
For me, I know when I say this, people are gonna say no, but there is just a thin line.
Okay.
A thin line, because in law, what is black, what is white is white.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, it also depends. One can also say that you can actually say what is wrong in your own perspective and say what is right in your own perspective.
Yeah.
Basically saying that what is black is not black,
Yeah.
what is white is not white, you
yeah.
know. But in poetry is another world for me, particularly. that how people will say things and how will you see it is quite different. So the thin line is basically, I don't know.
But there's a relationship.
Yeah, there's a
okay, but there's a difference.
Yes, there's
for
a
you.
difference. There's a
Okay, so gis nañ fi si biir Gambia bi fii poètes yu bari léegi dañoo def poète difa dugal olof difa dugal soose. Man, I love that, you know, and I feel like that brings about some sort of difference. So is that also a way that you're doing your poetry, or you focus on English entirely?
No.
Okay.
That is not the way that I do poetry.
Yeah.
Munuma ko sax.
Munuloo ko de kon wax ñu si English. Jox ñu line olof benn wala ñaar.
I can do it. I've never done it.
Oh, you've never done it?
Yes,
Okay.
I've never done it. So it's something that I'm incapable of doing. So there are a few that do those things. Abdullah Cham, Adam Amboj, you know, Omar Cham, they do those things, and I like it. I like the way that they do it.
Are you working towards also achieving that, just to make sure you connect with
people
all the
that
people?
can't speak English? It's very important.
Yeah.
No, to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
it's good
to be honest, no.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I don't connect. I like it when people do it, but when I do it, I don't connect to it. So as a result,
you don't
I don't
feel
do it at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I get that
Yeah,
part. But
so-
anyway, you never know. Sometimes when you don't try certain things.
Definitely. But I'm going to look into it. It's going to be terrible, but I will say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say right now you're the winner of Poetry Slam 2021.
I mean,
And drum rolls. So what should we expect from you moving on?
Moving on, I will be like, poetry is part of my life. Like I say, it's the closest person to me, because it's an avenue that I can get to explain myself more, that I can explain myself, and it will allow other people to come and then sit down, need to go line per line and seek for the meanings.
Yes.
That is one part that I'm happy about. So if I win, from there it's going to be, I wouldn't say the Poetry Slam, I have done it already, it's done, I'm done and dusted with poetry. No, I don't want to do that. I want to be participating in other platforms, and things that the contemporary issues that are happening. I also want to write about them all the time, and then from there talk about my business all the time.
Okay.
You can follow my Instagram page. Is Your Organic Food. You can follow me also on YouTube. On Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Instagram, yes.
All right. So final words. Thank you so much for coming on the program, Ami.
Yes, thank you so much. I am delighted that I am here. And all of you watching here, we're really happy for your support all along. Those of you that have been there since from the preliminary rounds up to the semi-finals, and then we're hoping to receive you in your numbers in the finals actually. Thank you so much for Action 8. They're also on board, and all of our sponsors. Thank you really much, and all of you keep praying. Pray that I take these home.
Okay.
And
so
you know what that
man,
means.
I'm not portion percentage more.
You see?
Wow.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. So and coming on Youth Dialogue does not change anything in terms of the way she'll be judged, because this is not based on voting.
Definitely.
This is based on a panel of judges, reputable, independent, and all of that. So they'll be making their own decisions. So right here, she's here on behalf of all of the finalists out there. Congratulations to all the finalists and good luck. Thank you so much for coming, Ami. So viewers, I'm afraid that is all we have time for in this edition of Youth Dialogue. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to connect with us on our different social media platforms to stay connected with what QTV has to offer, what Youth Dialogue has to offer, and other programs. My personal social media handles are as well in front of you. Take it, contact me, give me your recommendations, give me your comments. I know there are a lot of young people out there who really love this show and they really want to be on here, but like I said, I can't feature all of Gambian youth at once. But no matter who you are, no matter what you do, just keep on doing it, and someday you'll find your way here. I never knew Ami Sohna will be standing here with me today, but it's because of, you know, her journey and the work she's been doing. So just keep it up, keep doing what you do. You might have the opportunity to be here someday. So till I come your way next week with another exciting program. Bye for now.